Welcome to our third module of our course on bilingual literacy and literature. Today we will cover the topic of dialogic teaching. So we know that language and metalinguistics matter, and it's the heart of our essence as people to communicate. So literacy represents the modalities in which this communication happens, and we talked about making meaning through learning vocabulary, morphology, semantics, and syntax, and also therefore learning decoding. But we also reviewed that language is not just parts. So it's a holistic approach and it's a circular approach. So finally, we're moving into the deep concept of how language is functional. We need a theory of language in use, and this is a functional theory, meaning that language proficiency and reading comprehension happens within a communication setting for a purpose. So as a teacher uses language to communicate knowledge within the class, the teacher defines words, relations, explains morphology, the different components of the linguistic system, etc. But that is not exactly dialogic, so as much as monologic, meaning that is the teacher relating new knowledge to the students. And this is an essential component. However, research has shown that it's not the most critical component. Therefore, dialogic teaching comes into play, and we know that we must encourage students to talk. We need to step back and facilitate discussion about language and text concepts that generate meaning and understanding. And that's how we're truly developing the ability for the student to not only learn, but to continue creating pathways for new knowledge in his or her life, their life. And that's what we refer to as critical stance, this platform where there's understanding of the world. And that is the true function of language, this communication of new understandings of the world and amplifications of knowledge. These were some of the key ideas in your reading. Dialogic teaching as a philosophy of interaction. There's, of course, language components, talking about words and language with students rather than giving information. So we're constructing it with our students. Some of you allude to this in your discussions, how instead of explaining a concept, you have them research, you have them discuss. And then something that keeps being forgotten is the strong connection with writing. We know as adults the effects of journal writing. However, in instruction, the writing serves as a venue and platform to solidify those discussions, prior and post discussion. And in the early grades preschool, this might mean choosing objects or choosing images that represent an abstract concept. That is, having the students choose it. Research has shown that when this dialogic teaching is implemented, there's an increase in not only comprehension, but also ideas expressed and articulation. So once again, your readings highlight these 4 simple ideas. Teacher as a facilitator, the teacher facilitates. Then there is also a linguistic variation that is encouraged. Not only languages, but dialects within or regionalisms within the languages. That conversation should be challenging, and that it should build. The teacher facilitates the conversation so that it builds new or practice of new knowledge or new language, and also that it's key to encourage linguistic context that value student voice. So we create this context, and it becomes a second nature that students will always be the co-creators of the new knowledge and the lessons. And as practical application, I'm offering this short lesson on or clip of the lesson where the teacher is facilitating a discussion on the book, Ivan, The Remarkable True Story of the Shopping Mall Gorilla. And there is questions that I encourage you to ask yourself and then address them in the discussion. So this ends our short module. I hope it helps. The module implied some reading and watching. Therefore, it's your own research. And now we move on into the discussion, where I'm hoping you can co-create with your classmates this module. Thank you.